Fire 716 ready. Looking to the vault with Donta Myles right here on Fire 716. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Listen, welcome to the vote. We're here, man. We got a lot to talk
No, for
about.
sure.
A whole lot to talk about. First thing first, I want to make sure everybody that's on here, of course, if you're already on Fire 716, welcome. Those of you who are on my live, please go to Fire 716 and download the app, please. It's a lot of good content, and you definitely want to check them out. You know, we got some good people.
Yeah,
doing
for
good
sure.
things. All right, so listen, right to it. Well, just got in from the gym. I'm just telling my guy right here, you know, I just have to create healthy habits. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
for sure.
So,
for sure.
and I'm thankful because this used to hug me a little bit. God bless. All right, so as of last night, we had this special meeting, and this special meeting was to do, and there's two things that I'm gonna bring up about the special meeting. One, it was to make as an option for the city of Niagara Falls to use our CDBG funds and CDBG Community Development Block Grants. That's the funding that helps with our roads. That's the funding that helps with our demolition. That's the funding that help different organizations, local organizations, uh, like Habitat for Humanity, different organizations that help the people, do things like emergency home renovations,
Yeah.
roofs, and stuff that people may need, right? So they want to use these funds to acquire land and take out a 20-year loan that's going to cost the city nearly $10 million, nearly basically almost $500,000 a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that was put out there, and the other one was to hire a consultant, Upper Edge Consulting Agency.
Yeah.
And this, to do consulting in regards to feasibility studies and so on and so forth, and looking for grants or whatever for the Centennial Project. And I had an issue with that, as well as because the agency that this Upper Edge agency, Diane, the woman who's over it, her daughter is works for Bolton St. John, which works for the city of Niagara Falls. So it's so much conflict of interest. I don't believe that there was any, even for this project, which is, to me, doesn't look like even anywhere near a success.
Yeah.
Even with this project, it's so many holes in it, and there's so many conflicts of interest. So with that being said, let's talk about last night, bro.
Right. So, went to the meeting last. I went to the meeting last night, not a church meeting. I went to the city hall meet. It was a special meeting, and just to get some information for those who may not know, a special meeting is when the mayor calls for a meeting. He sends the councilmen some documents. They review it and they vote on it. And at the meeting, we don't have the option to really voice our opinion as we do at the city hall meetings that happen on Wednesdays. So you're almost just there watching them execute whether they're going to go for it or not. When it comes down to the meeting yesterday, it was for me, it was disheartening because I think that the Centennial Project itself should just, like you said, be tabled. But also, you need to revamp your execution on that period. I get the idea. Oh, we're just trying to see if it's available. Even what you're petitioning for isn't efficient enough to encompass everybody in the community. So that's a hold it right there for me.
Right.
Like, for those of you who don't know, the Centennial Project is they want the amphitheater outside, inside, ice skating, which is also a splash pad. And we already have an ice skating rink and a splash pad that are not already maintained.
Right.
And you want to take money from our development, our ability to live better, have better roads, get rid of some of these houses that are already just not recoverable, beyond repair. To use it for a project that's not even for the community, but labeling it
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A community project. So these things really disturb me a lot.
He and the crazy part is that especially with the CDBG funds, it's not even for the project. It's just for the land.
Yeah,
It's just to buy 12 acres of land. You're talking about almost over $1 million of an acre once we end up paying everything out that we have to
that's
pay out.
crazy.
So even the mayor, he would he would he made a statement like concerning funds. Let me give a shout out to Mr. Cawley,
No, no,
Councilman
valid,
Cawley last
valid,
night.
valid, valid.
I can appreciate his space. I can appreciate what he brought to the table. His questions were very, very valid. They were
Yeah,
very straightforward. They were legit. Um, and he and I were the only ones
yeah,
that voted against it.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? So, um, but the mayor, even with questions that he had, even regarding, because I've asked some of the same questions, and I'm
yeah.
glad he asked them when he said, what are the projections? What and well, we don't know that yet, and so you don't even know if it's a viable project,
And,
and you're willing to pretty
right,
much pull away from our resources.
and you cannot say I am a small business, but I'm a business,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to do 3 year projections before we go sit at anybody's table to
Absolutely.
make any kind of request to make an adjustment for anything.
Right.
So how is it that you haven't done your due diligence in the totality of what it's going to take for this project, how it's going to be maintained, who is it catered to? You haven't gone through these steps. You're just talking about the land.
That's it. That's it.
And,
There's
and
no real. It's just a whole bunch of you know, little, not even commercials, because at least commercials give you a little bit more detail.
yeah,
All this is
broad
somebody's
strokes.
idea,
Yeah,
and you're willing to take away from people who are less fortunate,
right.
people who really need this help, to fund this idea that nobody else has stepped up to you. Because
Yeah,
guess what? If it was a good idea,
right.
investors would step up and help you.
In the fact that it is a 20-year take,
Mm-hmm.
because
20 years.
you're telling me long past your term, we still got to
Yeah,
deal with the
yeah.
consequences of your actions, whether you survive the next term or not going forward. You're about to make a decision, and you don't know what problems the community is going to indulge in, deal with, have to face. Where our funds we can't execute. Now, let's talk Niagara Falls.
Right,
The streets for one moment was falling in
right,
all over the city.
right,
It was just caving in. But now you're going to take the money to use it for this project. You don't know what problems we're going to encounter 20
Right.
years from now.
right.
Our streets might legit be falling in again. I mean,
But once you make
sinkholes.
that decision,
the
that's the
decision
thing about it.
you
It's,
take
it's
from
done.
Yeah,
And so I think that's one of the biggest issues. Like I said last night, this loan won't be fulfilled until my daughter is 33 years old.
yeah,
My son will be 30 years old. Like, make that make some kind of sense. It absolutely doesn't.
it doesn't.
So you're taking out. So let me give for those who may be watching and those who may not know. So the vote yesterday for those two items were 3-2.
Yeah,
Um, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the now chairman who's stepping in right now until the beginning of the year as to um, his decisions that he's been making as
Yeah.
of late. Because I talked to him, when I was running before, we was doing all the weed whacking and we was
Mhm.
out there, cutting grass that needed to be cut, because we were just like, instead of, if the city ain't gonna do it, and if we got people who are gonna step
Right,
out,
right.
rob shots, he was in there with us, doing that thing. And so while we were out there, he always, proclaimed to be a man of the people.
Yeah,
He always proclaimed, hey, we definitely need to reach across the aisles and make sure we're taking care of the community,
Yeah.
working with men, and da 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 da. And then now, as of like this, you know, me experiencing him personally, I already seen him flip flop multiple
Mm.
times on other situations, but me experiencing him personally as a colleague is upsetting.
Yeah.
Um,
You go.
because at the end of the day, these decisions that he's making, like we're bringing up, like myself and Mr. Cawley,
Yeah.
Councilman Cawley, we brought up some real legit some questions that needed to be answered before we can even really move any further from this.
Yeah.
And all I seen from him is just a way to find reasons to support the project.
Yeah.
The project is not diverse. I made that clear before too,
Right.
as well. And we haven't really engaged. And then we had, like, again, I'm kind of repeating what I was saying last night, but we have not engaged the community at all in the city of Niagara Falls. The only engagement with the community, no, there was no real engagement.
Mm.
What I'm thinking about the engagement was with the ARP funds,
Yeah.
because basically myself, Ezra, the Peacemakers, and a few other people from a couple of other organizations, because some organizations were supposed to be in that were supposed to be social justice
Hmm.
organization, and then their leadership made them back out, which was really kind of
Wow.
funky and
Yeah.
shady, and that will be another show. Um, but we had some people that kind of rock with us to try to get this forum set
Yeah.
up so we can talk about what we want to do with these American Rescue Plan funds. Which, again, the American Rescue Plan funds, they want to actually use those American Rescue Plan funds to hire this consulting agency, um, to try to get this, Centennial Park project moving.
Yeah.
Um, there hasn't been true engagement with the community.
No. And I actually ask you this question. They took that pieces of paper
Hmm.
and they asked us to vote. What was the outcome of that? What was
I reached out to Clifford Scott. He sent me a text. Oh, I'm online. Sorry.
maybe like that?
He sent me a text that stated the mayor wants all questions to be ran through the administration. So I called the administration and I
Yeah.
asked them, hey, what are the results of those tallies, those vote sheets
Right.
that we had from the meeting? And then there was like, the mayor would like to talk to you. And I'm like, you think you're going to have some kind of pacified type sit me
That's crazy.
down with me right on the day of the meeting? No, I was like, yeah, maybe he and I can talk about, whatever he act like he want to talk about later,
Hmm.
maybe another day. But right now, I wanted to know one, one about the tally.
Right.
Two, which is a whole nother story, is why are people, especially essential workers, that got stuck? Why are they being charged $4, $5, $6, sometimes $700 for them to get their cars out when they got told because the car got stuck and they
So
had to
yeah.
abandon it?
Right.
Um, and I got no answer from neither.
That's crazy.
So I mean, that becomes commonplace with our administration
Yeah,
right now.
and that makes me feel a type of way because even if we came and gave our opinions and our voices, and you're still trying to push the project, our opinions and our thoughts are not taken into consideration with this administration.
Not at all. Not at all. I had someone tell me uh, that they believe that my colleagues just hear different,
Hmm.
and I don't accept that. Or they have their constituents. It's like, well, hold on, wait. We all share the same constituents. We are we are governing over a body of 47, maybe 48, and I'm be nice with that, thousand people. They're all the same constituents. They all should
Hmm.
be considered the same. So when one has a issue, then that should be taken under consideration. I'll give you a prime example, and that's why I brought up LaSalle. That's why I brought up DeVoe, Cayuga Island,
Yeah, no, for sure.
because when the ladies that came out crying about the short term rentals, this administration jumped to it like it was
Yeah, yeah,
jumped to it
yeah,
quick as ever. Oh,
yeah.
well, we don't need this and we don't need that. We need to create a new ordinance. We need to do this. Put things down. We're gonna do moratorium. Stop. Stop. short-term rentals. We're gonna do a moratorium. We got to set this up. We got to put everything on hold
Wow.
so we can set this a new ordinance up as if on, on the post, you know, the post-pandemic,
Yeah.
as if short-term rentals was the worst problem that
Right.
Niagara Falls
Right.
had.
Right. 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 Right.
I want to go back into that because I want to stick to the topic, but they did that quickly
Yeah. Valid.
when those
Valid.
houses in DeVoe, those party houses from the school from NU,
Mm-hmm.
when they had their issues in DeVoe, or they had a meeting and they had everybody ready to jump, and they talking about, yeah, we should build housing in on Main Street, and student housing and blah 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 and all this and so on and so forth. They're ready to jump.
Yeah. That's wild.
But then when it comes down to specific portions of our city,
Yeah.
the not so well to do, the not so, upper echelon,
Yeah. Exactly.
the not so in that class level,
Yeah.
your voices get ignored. That's why I say it again. It's taxation without representation.
For sure.
I represent the most of the city because most of the city is dealing with like issues
Yeah.
that has been ignored, and the voices of the people continuously be ignored. That's why I said last night, and I told and you're gonna, and trust me, all three people who voted for it. I think this is Tompkins' last time, and he probably don't want to run for
Yeah.
anything
And they said
else.
he flip flopped again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other two that voted for it, that would be Miss Vax and Mr. Zajac.
Yeah.
I'm like I told you last night. I said,
Like, I'm gonna say before you get to that, like, if you don't agree with the totality of it, you should have said no.
right.
Not this. Oh, I say yes with the statement that possibly we don't use these funds. That no, you've agreed. You just
already
agreed.
did. Let me tell you what happened. See, that right there was such a corny move. I'm gonna use
For
corny
both
for
of
today. Because and I'm gonna make the statement. I'm gonna tell you why it's corny. So I told them, I said, make sure you realize who you're taking this money from,
Yeah.
taking these services away from, right? Because when you're taking these services away from these people, if they plan on running again, I'm going to bring that up even if I don't run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up because you're so willing to take away or even make it a possibility to take away services that's needed from
Yeah.
people who need these services. Now, what's gonna happen this year? Honestly, we're gonna have a mayor that's actually gonna go back into the same community that he's taking these services away from, the same community that he's not really pushing these ARP funds to where they're supposed to be, and he's gonna knock on the same doors. You got to be careful. He'll have pawns. There will be people that he will use that look like us in the African American community, and he'll use them to come and talk to you to try to push his name. At the end of the day, don't be foolish. That's why I ask people to come. Again, I ask people to come to City Hall, come to City Council meetings so you can see this and you can make an educated decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you don't, then it's just Dante saying.
Yeah.
I can show you better than I can tell.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So he's gonna be there next year. He's gonna be around. He's gonna be running around. He's gonna be, at the barbecues. You know what I mean? He's gonna have all this. But the thing about it is, we got to make. He doesn't make good decisions, and for him to be considered, oh yeah, well he's a lawyer, he's this, and people try to put all of these accolades.
Yeah.
In front of him to make it seem as if he's making a great mayor. The thing is that when you don't put the concerns and the issues and the questions
Yes.
of the people in the forefront of your decision making, and you think that it's okay to be a dictator in this small city of Niagara Falls,
Right.
then you got it twisted.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be out there campaigning next year, and that's my problem.
Yeah.
I have a big problem because at the end of the day, some people just might fall for the okie doke.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes down to the game of politics, you know how we, and I'm just call it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know how we do every event. We're there, and we don't do. And I'm gonna say this to our community. we don't do our due diligence in vetting those that govern over us. And that we tend, I'm guilty. I've done it of voting based off just, I heard this name before.
Right.
Oh, this is it. This is what we've been doing. And not vetting that people are not holding up their standard like they did before. They're not executing, or they don't have the interest of the totality of the community in mind.
Right.
That their goal, but you won't know these things if you're not present, or there's not a representative of exchange.
Right.
And what happens is we just go with the okie doke. Oh yeah, he was at the place. I'll vote for him because he had a. Somebody said to me, "Oh, Frank, you should run for mayor based off of my voice alone." Granted, because that voice is powerful. I get it. I'm somebody. I understand. But there's more. There's more required in just being around and being common and just being known as we do. Rise from your slumber, my boy. And we need to start vetting those that we're putting in leadership. And we need to start looking at what are you bringing to, what is your conversation? And I love you, Donta, because we see you away from the bench.
Yeah.
We see you active away from just at the council meeting. You had to run, but outside of that, you've been present.
Yes,
you've been around. We engage with you. And it's always unfortunate. And I say unfortunately because I know it takes away from you and the family, but you're there, you make that sacrifice. But to the rest of your conglomerates,
man, the term has been used, bookends.
Yeah.
And last night just proved that to me.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they find reasons to support the mayor's idea.
No, listen to. I'm gonna just.
It's the truth.
No, valid, and I'm a back. Hey, girl. Because the way that you delivered that exchange between the mayor, and the 8%, and it's just this, and
it's not gonna really touch it. He's gonna say, no, it's not. When he's lying through his teeth.
Lying through his teeth.
He's making it's clear that these decisions are going to affect the community.
Yes.
Now what you're saying is, it's not going to touch the tax. It's not going to raise the taxes, but it's going to take away services.
Yes.
Guess what? Services that who pay for?
The tax. Yeah. Right.
Like, let's stop being like we're not dumb.
Yeah.
I'm tired of our intelligence being insulted.
Valid.
So what happens is that was nothing more than a way for her and Mr. Zajac, and I say it really loud and clear. Anybody can say it's going to be on video. So again, make sure you subscribe and set up, and y'all can send this to them. Let them know that I said this. That was nothing more than a way to try to appease and try to, in a way, to still try to support the mayor's idea.
Yeah.
Because if they really wanted to make a stipulation, let me make that clear for those who may have been there or have watched that actual exchange and our voting last night. If they were serious about that stipulation, then that would have been a walk-on item.
Yeah.
That would have been something that say, you know what? I make a motion to, I will vote on this on the grounds that blank, 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 blank.
Yeah.
That it doesn't do this and blah, 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 blah. And then we would have to vote on that motion, get it on the item so it can actually be legit.
Yeah.
And then it goes through under that. But what it is they just made a statement because they knew that statement held no weight. That's how it operates, and that's how I want people to understand. That's why I want to educate people on how that works.
Because it's because to the untapped in, it sounds like they for it, but they just wanted to be a different kind of way. But that statement means nothing.
It holds no weight.
That's crazy.
All it does is it supports the mayor's idea.
Exactly.
That's it. It has no weight to it. That's why I'm like, if they were serious about it, how come you didn't make a motion to walk that on and to change the wording? And guess what? That would take some tabling because you have to change some stuff.
Right. And I think that it should have been tabled because you're trying to force, and you're trying to force. Come on, last minute trying to force something before the end of the year end to get it. No. And then I once again to Vincent Carley brought out the fact of all these other promises and projections that has failed through the years.
Yes.
That you're trying to attach. You've already failed to these things.
Yeah.
From 2000, 2003, 2008, you've already failed in the attempt to execute other projects like this, doing it this way.
Same manner. Same manner.
So that is insanity.
Continuously doing the same thing over.
So it's like this should have been tabled. Let's revamp this. Let's see what's available. Let's do our due diligence, and let's see if we can try to get better for next year.
Yeah.
And without having to take from, because we noticed that there is a problem with the community saying you're taking from us. They're expressing themselves as being. How can we revamp this? How can we make this a whole project? And how can we execute the community responsibilities before we start talking about these tourists again?
Yep. It's the same. I promise you, and the community has spoken. Don't make it. I wanted to make it seem like it's just as a Donta thing.
Yeah,
he just
for sure.
talking
For sure.
That, he just want to make some noise. The community has spoken because I said that on the podium last night. I told them, I said, we all got the same emails. And I say 99% of all of those emails that we received were people who opposed this. Yeah. And mainly the CDBG funds and a lot of people who oppose the project, period, because they feel the same way. They feel like it's just basically going to be a failure. To me, I think this project is nothing more than a ploy for the mayor to get reelected. That's what I say. Donta Myles.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Ernie had a question. He said, how come the council and the mayors from the last 20 years can't get along? Most mayors say they're going to do something and get in office and don't do that. What they said, and Ernie said, I fell out with Ristino over that.
Yeah.
Do what you say. And you know what's crazy is it's just history. Because I remember, I don't know if it was Maya Angelou who said it or Martin Luther King who said it. Somebody said this. Do what you said you was going to do on paper.
Right.
Do what before you go projecting or pretending or out here shaking hands and lying some more.
Right.
Do what you said you were going to do
period.
Already.
Ernie, let me tell you, bro. Honestly, I had to talk with the mayor before he got in. He was doing his campaigning. So basically in his attorney's office, he was campaigning with me. He was telling me all the stuff that, I told him while I was running. I'm like, listen, I'm really for the people. I'm like, I'm not here to chop the legs off of the have. I just need the have-nots to be restored. There are areas that have been neglected in our city for a long time. There is no entertainment. I said we've lost. For us to have a city, all we need is entertainment because the people come. So I'm like, I had all of this, and he was, oh yeah, absolutely. And we need to do this and we need to do that. And yeah. And then I'm like, and I told him, I literally said these exact words. If you follow through on everything that you're saying, Mr. Mayor, Mr. at that time, Mr. Ristino.
Yeah.
I said, you have my support all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I said, but if you renege on any of this, I'd hate for you to be on the other side of my wrath.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what he's experiencing now. And he thinks everything's a joke. The last couple of meetings, I had to kind of cut him short.
Now, listen, valid to this meeting, laughing and the lack of, now I've been observing on this, and Mayor, whatever, my guy, that's what it is. On your phone.
Yeah.
Not engaged, not really listening. I'm not sure who your counterpart name is next to you.
Tony, that's his brother.
And y'all
doesn't live here in the city. That's another thing.
Yeah. Y'all talking, y'all not engaged, and just your demeanor and presentation just shows that you don't care
at all. Could care less.
Yeah.
And
that's disheartening.
It's ridiculous. And so the true story is that he got in, he was the quiet mayor for 20 months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that again. He was the sleeping, quiet, mouse peeing on cotton mayor for 20 months. That means he didn't do much of nothing, and barely the council. But guess what? It was all in the name of COVID. So we all gave him a pass. And then the first things you want to do is STRs in this doggone project to try to get you back in for another 4 years. You were 4 months shy of 2 years of nothingness.
Yeah.
When would you, when you came out, you should have came out swinging on behalf of the people. But when you came out, when you finally broke your freaking silence, you came out and shut the people out. You
Yeah.
started calling special meetings. Help me out with that. And your special meetings doesn't allow public communication, public
Yeah.
engagement, doesn't allow the people to express what it is
Yeah.
that they feel.
Yeah. And they got offended when the expressions came.
Right. Okay. How what's his face? It was Tompkins.
Yes. Thank
Yo,
you.
he got heavy with like he ain't yo the whole year. I ain't never hear that gavel be hit that hard on that joint. But he got mad, and I'm like, hold on, wait, don't act like they don't have a reason.
Right. For sure.
I had to make that clear.
For
Like
sure.
you shut down the people, you shut down their voices, and then when they come here and have to watch you that blatantly disrespect their finances,
Yeah.
their financial situation, and you expect them to just shut up.
Yeah. It's not
Oh,
real.
clapping is fine, but the yelling, man, come on. It's whatever with that, man. It's whatever with that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're not going to respect the voice of the people, but and then you call a meeting that's going to take away funding from the people's services,
Right.
and then
Right.
you expect them to just shut up and be quiet? Come on,
It's
man.
not real.
Out of here with that.
Listen.
Out of here with that. So, yeah, Ernie, just kind of summarize it, bro. No, he's not. He's not doing what he promised the African American community.
Right.
Those vocal promises. He wouldn't
Yeah.
put anything on paper, but he had people in the. He had his minions. I'll use that minions. I'm thinking like I'm looking at the little baby boy. He has his minions that are a part of the African American community that he uses
Yeah.
to try to spread his name across our community during this season of campaigning that's getting ready to come up. But what's going to happen? What's going to happen heavily is what he has now that he doesn't have, that he didn't have back in 2019. He didn't have a Councilman Myles who can see through his BS.
Right. Right. Because I almost sense that there has to be an awareness, because I hate to say the politics of things, that there are people who are going to, hey, come here, come by here, do this. Oh, let me please don't be offended for those who have special days. A special day is great, and it's a great feeling, and you deserve that acknowledgement. I'm going to give that to you. But a special day doesn't condone you to bypass what's required and needed for the community.
Right.
And I feel like sometimes these resolutions or these statements are sent out to appease the people, to make them feel valid for a moment. And now that your name has been mentioned from the mayor Stein of Niagara Falls, and these things
he's gonna
happen,
come and hug you. He's gonna shake your hand.
But I need you to put in the observation of the work that has truly been done and what's really going on. And to do that, you have to be present, and you have to go beyond just the words of those around you to see really what's going on. Because if not, I get it. There's a person, images in my head. I won't call his name out of respect on this occasion, but it's like calling the mayor to come for a photo op is not efficient enough.
No,
it's not efficient enough for what we need done. Community centers, streets, road, houses, some need to be revamped, revitalized, some need to be torn down, dismantled. Absolutely. And we have the funds, and we've been given the funds to execute these things. And now you want to take these funds and apply them to something that doesn't feed, doesn't aid, doesn't advance us in our community, number one. And number two, to find out that you came into money. Now, last administration, like I told you, I don't know. I wasn't president. I wasn't talking. I wasn't president for all of them. But for some reason, there was a side pocket of money stored up so much. These are their words that they challenged. That listen, if y'all don't use this money up, we're gonna lower y'all grant. So we have funds available to execute so much that we're not using them for. Then what are you doing?
And if we got enough funds for you to be able to borrow $500,000 a year against it, then somebody has a problem. I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I have a problem with you being if we have it to do, then why is our city looking the way our city looks?
Absolutely.
I don't want to hear it like then he wants to fight Blue Cardinal, and we're going to tear down this building, and it's going to take $500,000 to do so. So now you want to talk about demolition, but in the same breath, you want to take away the funding for demolition.
Right.
Make that make sense.
Absolutely. And we over 5 minutes, but we have bad financial management and the decisions that we're making with people. Like, come on, Niagara. Before you can build or add anything else to the city of Niagara Falls, you got to set some stuff in order and get things back in right standing, because Main Street should not be as dilapidated and
As it is.
destroyed as it is.
It's horrible.
It's ridiculous.
It's horrible. Even with this project, see, this is the problem is they're telling fables.
Yeah.
With this project will not bring new people here.
No.
Let's get that straight. Project will not bring new people here.
Listen, it's gonna take them right from the casino they're already at.
Right.
I'm gonna go across the street.
Right. That's it.
That's it.
And it's not. Here's the true story. Like I said, casino already has
Yeah,
their
they
theater.
got it. I'm going downstairs. I'm not going.
They go. Listen, they have everything. The people who are in the casino has money. That's the thing about it. That's first and foremost. The casino is not don't have to ask for anything. The casino, and then they're like, oh yeah, I want to see how much real support they have from the casino, because here's the thing: you can't tell me, oh, well, our theater is going to hold 7,000 people. So basically, in a nutshell, you're already trying to challenge the casino.
The casino is too smart, intelligent, and they know too much.
And
I'm not going to give you ammunition and ammo to surpass what I have going on to take away from what I got. You're not about to take my money away from me.
you know the casino know that it's going to fail.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
know.
thing. They're like, go ahead, build your little thing, because guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We got the money to bring the artists in that y'all talking about. Oh, we can have concerts and so on and make some money from concerts.
Let me stop you again, Dante. That's a whole nother financial projection that's required.
Yep.
We ain't even got there yet. What
Nope.
it takes to bring in the artists, what it takes to build this. Put my glasses off so
150
y'all
million.
can hear me better.
Right.
So you haven't even projected what it takes for lights, camera, action, sound. What are you doing? No.
And then you got to have a whole broadcast system to actually fulfill these venues. Like, this is money out the wazoo.
And what Niagara Falls does, just on history, y'all make these low-level projections. We approve it, we go after it, and then we got to get more because we didn't do our due diligence the first round. Vincent Carley called that out repeatedly. And then we're out here taking the gift. I get it. I get it.
From Smoking Joe's.
From Smoking Joe's,
Yep.
we out here accepting the gift, then adding a value to it, which lets me know is we just doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then trying to clean it up and deal with it later on.
That's random.
That's random because I do. You're Steiner, welcome to the table. I do production, and he could have easily told you this is what we're going to do. This is what it's going to cost. This is the amount of gift beforehand, because there is the contract.
Yes.
Then there's an affidavit.
Yes.
It is saying you this is what we're going to do. This is what we did. So don't. I wish I could have had a car. When it said that, I was getting.
At the end of
wish I
right.
We only got 60 seconds left.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, here's where we at. So they voted 3-2. That would be myself and Vincent Carley.
Yeah.
We're the ones that voted against both of those situations concerning us using ARP funds for hiring the consultant. That the consultant agency is ran by Diane. I can't even remember her last name, but her daughter is actually the person that works for the mayor, the Bolton St. John agency, the mayor's personal consultancy. So
it's a family affair.
Such a family affair and such a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So they voted Zajax, Bax, and Tompkins. They voted on that, and they also voted on the idea of even possibly using our CDBG funds to purchase the land that the mayor wants to use, which will be a 20-year loan that will equal nearly $10 million. Actually, more
than that.
More than that. It's going to be So when we look at that, you're looking at, let's say, about $1 million an acre.
Yeah.
So yeah, they voted yes on that last night.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that we need more people to be more connected and more engaged. I'm gonna keep sharing the mess out of everything that I can. We don't have any more city council meetings this month, of course. So in the beginning of the year, the top of the year, next week? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Will be our first meeting. I believe it's on the second. Um, Look on my page. As a matter of fact, I made it even easier for everybody. Everybody that wants to know when our city council meeting is, on my Facebook page, there's my profile picture. And then behind the background picture, touch that. That has the whole year of the city council
Right.
meeting.
And I also have that. I'll put that link. I said I'll put that link.
Yeah.
I'll do that today. Actually, I'll put that link on the app. So download the app to have access.
Absolutely. Download the app so you can have access.
Absolutely. We got to go. Thank you for tuning in on the radio. I got one more thing I want to talk about before we go.
Go ahead,
But
man.
because I forgot it just that quick. I had it, but you talked about the funds, and you were talking about. I lost it. It's okay. Next time we'll be here next Thursday for Fire 716. You're inside the vault with Donta Myles. Let's go.
That's it. All right. So the folks that's still here, I'm over there like so for everybody that's still on, um, just as kind of like a tally or whatever. Do you? I was thinking about possibly um, doing a full hour, or possibly keeping it at 30 minutes. So, what I'm going to need you guys to do is weigh in. If you feel like, hey, I needed a little bit more, whatever the case is, you've been these last few times, and we had to cut you. I mean, we kind of gave y'all a little extra here, but on the actual app itself, which y'all need to go download too. Should it stay 30 minutes, or should I just do the full hour? So y'all can put the answers right here, because it's still about 11 of y'all that's left on here. Y'all can put y'all response. You can put 1 hour or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, it's
that was it painted out what I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
It painted out like the reality of what happens at City Hall. Full hour tip? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it paints that same. It all it did was just made clear of the things that I speak about.
Yes.
It made clear of how disconnected people can be. It made clear that for some, it doesn't matter what your voice says.
Yeah. No, for sure.
For some, it doesn't matter what your voice says. There's hidden agenda and ulterior motives that are just going to be pushed through. So now, but they haven't received the pressure that they need to receive. And that's why I always talk to people, and I'm like, hey, yo, let's keep that pressure on.
Yeah.
Let's put more pressure on. So, man, it's tough, and that's why I always invite people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, you seen it.
You really got to be there, because it's more than just one person's rhetoric or one person's opinion. So you have to see what it is, and you have to see how they represent you got to see how they represent the seat that they occupy, and then you realize, wait a minute, I'm not included.
Right.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, that's not me.
That's not you, and then you can't say nothing.
Yeah.
That's it. But here's the thing. That was my thing. Because I wasn't gonna be doing a whole lot of. I try to read the comments afterwards and then try to interact that way, but with 30 minutes I couldn't do interaction and comments and then call-ins and stuff like that.
Yeah. Call-ins will be available next week. So
I tell you what. So that's what we're gonna do then. That's because we're getting full hour. If in the event that
Yeah.
we're able, because it's tough. It's tough to
You in 30 minutes.
yeah, in 30 minutes. So
Our conversation enough.
yeah, because we go in.
But yeah, so I got the piece coming this Saturday
Okay.
to infuse this with this.
Awesome.
I have that number up there for you to call in.
So yeah, that's basically. I mean, that's what I dealt with, and that's why I'm good. But I'm glad that we getting people now.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we getting people now, because what it does is it if I can within the next couple of years, because I got 3 left. My first year, I got 3 years left. Within the next couple of years, we need to see pressure like pressure has never been given before.
For sure.
And if we can do that within the next couple of years or so, then I feel like we can create a new dynamic.
Yes.
2, we can get people in these seats that care.
Yeah.
People in the seats that make sense.
I'm gonna say something because per several meetings ago that we have the ability to create committees, if you would.
Right.
And if we can get the people to come out and support. Now I said this before, I'll say it again. I need 2 people from every block club.
Yeah.
I need 2 people from every church to be represented at these meetings to be able to communicate the dialogue of what's happening in the city to the people and vice versa.
Right.
So that when things are moved and passion, this is going to be a long meeting tonight because y'all decided to have this agenda item and I got 15 speakers to speak on this one item.
Right.
Oh, and to the next one, I got 15 more
Right.
to speak on the item. Now,
Right.
now what happens is hear us.
Right.
And we and who you represent. I get granted the one meeting got asked for address. Now it's about who we represent. We represent this street. We represent this group of people here in this community. And it's just a requirement. Like I told you, I'm gonna put pressure on the city.
Right.
But I also put pressure on us.
Yeah.
That we gotta we have to step up and the time is now.
Yeah. We can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. Can't really delay.
And we sometimes we get real comfort in our comfort zone. And
yeah,
we don't have that really to do. We have
for sure.
Right now, again, I got enough gas for 3 years.
Yeah, but
but if I can't get back
absolutely
energy,
absolutely, and even with that, and even if you, I'm just be honest, even if you choose, it's family time now. It's just I did my due diligence. It's time for me to focus on. I got kids. I got other goals happening, and you choose not to. With the work being done beforehand, and people, there should be a remnant that we know we're gonna push this young man or this person. We see because you're a part, you're involved, and you're moving.
Still be out here.
100%.
I think that's gonna go without saying.
Yeah.
But however, like it's just like in that seat, and then what happens is we get so much expectation placed on us as African American government officials, city officials.
Yeah.
And long gone are the days of us just voting people in and then walking away and expecting them to turn water into wine.
Right.
What happens is what needs to happen and what needs to take place is once we're gonna put pressure. That's the big thing. Yeah. Even during the election season, we put pressure on them, vet them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Once we vet them, stay on top of them.
Oh, valid.
When we get them, when they get in office, stay on top of them.
I low-key want to know the schedule. I need y'all to submit your campaign schedule.
Right.
Because if you're gonna walk into anybody's church, if they talking, we talking.
Right.
Not a problem.
Right.
Because what y'all about to hear,
or
what you've heard, I need you to take in consideration, and this is what that is in reality.
Right.
Not just words of vain promises. Because if you're going to use the Centennial Park project as a campaign push, or we're working on this, okay, then
what comes along.
Absolutely, because if you're going to be at a church, unmentioned, and you're going to talk, I'm going to ask for the same. Excuse me, I just need 5 or 10 minutes just as well. We're give me the front row as well. I'm a politician, and we're in route. No, the mayor just spoke about those things. Those are great ideas, great concepts. But here's the truth of what that costs you.
Right.
Because we're just not. And
it's time for us to follow up.
Here you go, but Ernie said you studied urban council. It's something that I had in mind. You know what? The Bible says, I'm gonna tell you the Ernie. I call the old because they know the way, but I call the young because they're strong. Let's talk. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
But what I understand is I can't do it all.
And you can't do it by
but
yourself.
I can't do it by myself.
That's the thing about it. And it's wisdom tells you that you need people.
100%.
And that's one thing I've been saying. You know what I mean? It was made mentioned by a couple of people who I'll leave nameless.
Yeah.
at a couple of meetings that I was at. Hey, you know, Donta, this was towards the beginning of the year. Hey, Donta's your new councilman, so any problem you have, call him. I said, excuse me? So what you won't do is put that burden and that weight on my back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what happens is then you think that I become the Messiah and I can fix stuff.
Nope.
When I'm only 20% of every vote that takes place.
Call 311, put it at the table.
Put it at
the table, present it, and we all gonna deal with it. I get it.
Man, and you can't, and so it's like I need y'all more than just as much as y'all need me.
Valid.
That's my point. Is I need the people just as much as the people need me to represent and stand up for them.
Absolutely.
Every chance when I get on that dais, I always represent the people. But the problem is that if the people don't show up in a manner that shows that the people care about whatever situation we're talking about, then true story is they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. Listen, it's a difference between voting in front of 20 people and 200.
Yeah.
You put 200 people in City Hall and have them expressing the same thing.
Yeah.
It'll be a little different. So a little different story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what when we talk about putting that pressure.
Exactly.
Get up there and listen. Speak on something.
Right.
Listen, here's the other portion. I hear some few names of people who are considering running for city council, these little 2 seats that's coming up. Let me tell you something. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? So one thing about it is those who are running, I don't see you at the podium. I'm talking about at City Hall, and I'm talking about fighting for and really standing for the people that like are not as maybe less fortunate. I don't see people jumping off the scenes to stand for that. You know what I'm saying? And really stand up and go to that podium and address us. Address the mayor, address the administration, address all 5 council members, at least when we're all there. So I don't know. I'm trying to, I need more community support. Hold on just a second. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with my messages. I don't see any new messages coming up, guys. So, there we go. Yeah, the power of the people are more powerful than the people in power. I always say, like, the people in power should never outweigh the power of people. That's what brings the accountability factor in. Is that, hey, okay, there's the people who are in power, so, and then there are the power of the people. At the end of the day, if the people start coming in and putting that pressure,
absolutely,
that's what's gonna create people power.
No, for sure.
If the city council has so many empty benches still in there, then true story is that the people who are in power, they're going to continue doing the same thing. So,
yeah.
So with that being said, so in the event, hey, and I'm gonna say it again. Y'all just giving the extra, but I'm gonna stop doing this because it's either gonna be a half hour or it's gonna be an hour. So what's gonna happen is I'm letting y'all know. So everybody that's on here, put in the chat. Let me know that if you want this program to continue to stay at the half hour, because next week I'm stop. We say half hour, and if that's what I get the most of, then we're stopping at a half an hour. Even on my Facebook Live, I just get a little bit of extra juice. All right, so put down what it is, and then I'll check the tally. Share this. Just share.
Yeah, please share. Please share.
Share.
And only because in the year I get extra even on Fire 716 Radio live in YouTube. So please share because this conversation is needed.
Absolutely.
Not only for those in politics who are already in the seats, but for us in our community as well to know what's going on and to be current. I say this all the time, and I'll say it again, and I say it every time I forget finish talking. The goal of Fire 716 Radio is to be the hub of information to inspire, uplift, and transform.
That's right.
That you can come here and find out what's going on, how to be a part, how to be involved, how to grow, how to advance, how to go from poverty to prosperity. Mm-hmm. There's an agenda here of getting us out of some of the things that we're in. Yeah. And so that's what we want to do here. So you got to be tapped in and download the app. So for sure.
Download the app and share this. Friends and family. Y'all got more than... here's what I'm going to ask. Everybody that's on here. Let's see. So it's 10 people on here. Mm-hmm. Out of the 10 people that's on here, I'm going to ask each of you to get 5 people, including not including yourself, 5 different people outside of yourself. Go to Fire 716, download the app. So that should be, if you don't already have it on here, that should be 60 people. There should be 60 new download followers to Fire 716. And I'm going to ask y'all to have those people share this video.
Yes.
As well. So we can, because honestly, this is not about, Donta trying to create some type of name. Donta is trying to get some stuff done because Donta don't like the condition that his city is in.
For sure.
And Donta wants, his kids to be able to, or his kids to want to, if they wanted to, live here after they graduate college.
Right.
So I'm really trying to, make moves on that end, but I can't. It's not just about me making moves.
Yeah.
It's really about us as a community and us as a people really coming together and really, getting on the grinds and stop doing the same thing that we've been doing since forever.
For sure.
So, y'all go ahead. It's in the app. It's in the
App Store. Yep. It's a free download.
Free download. Doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
Just like sharing. Let me help y'all out real quick too with sharing. Y'all do understand sharing only takes like 5 seconds. Like some people be like, you be like, hey, share this. It'd be like 20, 30 people on your stuff. And then like you get like 3 shares. I'm like, hold on, I know at least 30 of y'all have seen this.
Yeah.
It's 250, 1,000 views or whatever. Yeah, come on, please.
Yeah.
Please.
2 clips. Share now. Share
please. Share the video. Go download the app. Yeah, and I'll be seeing y'all next week. Listen, for everybody that's on here, have a happy new year. Y'all be safe out here. And let God arise and his enemies be scattered.
Right. All right, catch y'all later. Have a good one.